Ferreira is lost to us. He denounced God in public and surrendered the faith.
That's not possible. Father Ferreira risked his life to spread our faith all over Japan.
What was inspiring about it is because he'd been thinking about it for 30 years and kind of planning things that he wanted to do. You know, it could have very easily been a dictatorship where you show up on set and he's like, I've been thinking about this for, 30 years. This is how the movie is going to be. But that it was almost the exact opposite. He certainly did shots that I know, or I've heard that he did shots that he'd been thinking about for 30 years. But still, in working with us on it, you got the sense that it was still just as fresh in his mind, and he still kind of approached scenes with like an attitude of he didn't know what the answer would be. And that, for me, was a good lesson. That it's always kind of you hope to see in practice, but to watch someone who's accomplished so much in his career or been thinking about these characters and knew his material so well, still approach everything with this like youthful curiosity.
It seems to me that our mission here is more urgent than ever. We must go find Father Ferreira.
This is in your hearts, then, both of you.
Yes.
And I must trust God has put it down.
It's great working with Martin Scorsese because I grew up watching his movies, and I think he's the tip of the pyramid as far as directors alive today. So you kind of go in, you can't help but go in with like a preconceived idea of that, of what it's going to be like. I don't know what that is now in retrospect after having worked with him, but there's so much fear and reverence, and you can't help but be intimidated by it. But he's very good at demystifying himself and making it about focusing on the details. And I think there's some weirdly paternal thing that happens, or maybe the actor-director relationship, where you always just kind of are. Actors are very people-pleasing people, I think, and no more is that more obvious on a set. With their director, you're like, oh my God, like me, tell me what to do. I'll do it, whatever it is you say. And he doesn't want that. He wants you to rebel against him and take ownership of your part. His movies are so good because they're very personal. He puts so much of himself into them. And I think people are just naturally interested and attracted to people who have a point of view and a voice and a specific way of viewing the world.
The price for your glory is their suffering.
It's too dangerous.
We asked for this mission.
It was great working with Andrew because we were starving together and there was nobody else. One of my favorite moments was that we were on a, not just because we were starving together, he's a great actor. And he's my age, so I hate him. But one of my favorite moments was we were on a boat and they had the front of the boat tied to a big rope that they pushed out into the water. And we were shooting this scene where they're pulling us onto shore. And when you're losing weight, it's all about timing. Like you have to time when you have coffee and when you have, a shake, or so you're have energy for certain things. Especially we're trying to figure out the rhythm of a set. When is a good time to eat, so I'll have energy for this next thing. Anyway, so we're in the middle of this boat, and we're not wearing a lot of clothes, and we're wrapped in some damp something. It's just me and him, and the entire crew and the rest of the cast and the extras are all kind of on the shore, and they called lunch break when we did this a couple times, and so it was just we're like, oh no, that's fine. We don't want to come in. We'll just stay out here in the boat.